10 greatest car brands that don't exist anymore. Despite making some of the coolest cars of their day, thanks to bad decisions and market situation, none of these iconic car brands are around today. The car industry is an unforgiving world. One day a brand can be on top of the world, and the next it can fade into oblivion. There are currently hundreds of automakers in the current market. However, some famous companies have been lost over the years. Today we talk about 10 greatest car brands that don't exist anymore. So let's get started. Number 10. Autobianchi. This manufacturer is little known outside of Italy, and for many, it is the first time they have heard of it. However, for Italians, the Autobianchi is a very special item with a huge fan base. They made cars from 1955 to 1995, and they made some unique models that became very popular in Italy. Among them, there is the Bianchina, which was a small two-door convertible, and the A112, which was a compact front-wheel drive car that could be converted into an average racing car. Number 9. Oldsmobile. This American icon is one of the first automakers in existence, as it started making vehicles in 1897, but unfortunately, it was shut down by General Motors in 2004. After more than a decade of declining sales, renewed competition from Japanese and other GM brands was the main reason for the brand's decline. However, between the 1960s and 1980s, Oldsmobile truly enjoyed a golden age where it was the third best-selling brand behind Ford and Chrysler. Some of his models have become icons that will never be forgotten, such as his awesome muscle car, the 442. Number 8. AMC. American Motor Corporation ceased operations in 1988, but not before producing some great AMC models. The brand's downfall was due to the fact that it was in a market dominated by the big three from Detroit: General Motors, Ford, Chrysler. The automaker enjoyed modest success in the 60s. However, just a decade later, AMC was losing millions of dollars each year. Their AMX was a great muscle car that never really took off in sales, even though it was powered by a beautiful 6.8-liter V8 that offered excellent performance at an affordable price. Number 7. Triumph. There are very few brands that have produced an insane amount of beautiful cabriolets, and Triumph is clearly one of them. The automaker started manufacturing cars in the UK in 1885 until the brand ceased operations in 1984. The rights to the Triumph name are now held by BMW, which bought the Rover Group in 1994. This legendary brand spawned absolute beauties like the Spitfire and TR6. One of the reasons for the brand's disappearance is the car's bad reputation, as they were considered highly unreliable. Number 6. Pontiac. The brand was in production from 1926 until 2010, when it followed the same fate as Oldsmobile, as it was discontinued by General Motors. Vehicles produced by Pontiac can be divided into two categories: everything before the 20s and everything after, because although they may share the same logo, they have nothing in common. In the 60s, they produced the awesome GTO, the cool Granville in the 70s, and the mighty Firebird in the 80s. However, after the 20s, the American company produced some of the ugliest models seen on the road, such as the Pontiac Aztek. Number 5. Ascari. The English brand takes its name from legendary Formula One driver Alberto Ascari, who won 2 world championships with Scuderia Ferrari in the 1950s. The name was not so comfortable, as the company produced high-performance cars. It had a very short life, as it only produced cars from 1995 to 2010. Their first car was the Ascari Escos, with a 4.7-liter V8 engine that produced an amazing 400 horsepower and could reach a top speed of 200 miles per hour. The small manufacturer had to shut down operations before it was able to produce its final model, the No.10. Number 4. Plymouth. Plymouth is one of those brands that completely lost its identity over the years and went from making unique models to making tasteless cars. The brand was in production from 1928 until 2001, when Chrysler decided to discontinue the brand. Plymouth was once known for making cars with endless curves in the 50s, and from the 60s to its lively muscle cars that it was less than memorable. They were basically just making Dodge cars under a different mark. Number 3. DMC. Can a brand make just one model in its entire history and be considered one of the largest automakers that no longer exists? The quick answer is yes, if they have created one of the most iconic and recognizable cars in the history of the automotive industry. DeLorean Motor Company only existed from 1981 to 1983 and sold about 9,000 DeLoreans. The car was the brainchild of legendary designer Giorgetto Giugiaro. Although it was extremely expensive and not very fast due to its weight, it became an absolute icon after being used in the Back to the Future film trilogy. Number 2. Saab. The great Swedish brand produced cars from 1945 until 2012, when General Motors, which bought the automaker in 1989, stopped production. Saab was also an aerospace company, and in its first few years the influence of this division was visible in their models, such as the Saab 92. However, in 1979 they created their bestseller, the 900 Turbo. It was a total hit because the Swede turbocharged a car that was meant for everyday use, creating an affordable and high-performance vehicle that didn't exist on the market at the time. Number 1. Tomaso. This is a brand that everyone wants back because the cars they built were incredible. The automaker was founded in 1959 and was dissolved in 2004 after the death of its founder, Alejandro Di Tomaso, in 2003. The company created a supercar with one of the best names ever, the Pantera. It was powered by a fantastic 4.9-liter V8 that produced 330 horsepower and could reach a top speed of 180 miles per hour. This absolute icon was in production for over 20 years. If you enjoy my video, please like, share, and subscribe to my The Daily Driver channel, and hit the bell icon to get latest updates. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.